What's your prediction, Tom?
I think it's going to be perfect.
Adam thinks it's definitely going to leak, and usually he's really optimistic, so as long as that doesn't mean something's not right with it.
No, it means it's working really well. Tell me a story, Emily.
Once upon a time, there were 4 people who went on a sailing boat and the engine broke. Absolute disaster. They had to try and sail when there was no wind. The waves were just really, really big and pushing them towards the rocks, so they were really nervous. And then just at the last minute the wind picked up and they managed to sail downwind to a safe anchorage, and just when they needed to get into the anchorage 30 knots of wind came and they couldn't sail upwind into the anchorage, so they had to pull their broken engine for a really short amount of time. They got really stressed, but they managed to get the deck down, and then they managed to fix the engine, and then they set off on a really long run on sail.
That is a really, really good story, and I like it a lot. Did you make it up, or is it inspired by true events?
It's inspired by true events. Hello.
And you guys are in for a treat as you get to watch this true story unfold before your eyes. Welcome back to a rather dramatic episode of To Get Lost. It seems it's never smooth sailing for long. If you've just joined us, then a warm welcome. We're Emily and Adam, currently sailing in Greece with our tiny cat and a couple of friends. You can find out more about us and our adventures in our previous videos or on our website togetlost.com. It's great to have you here.
The new impeller works really well. New saltwater lift pump.
And how's it going?
It's good. Happy. Smashed it.
As long as that doesn't mean something's not right with it.
No, it means it's working really well. It's pumped. Previously it pumped not much water, and now it pumps lots of water.
I don't like it when things change.
It's true though, you tune into like all the sounds on the boat and everything, like you know how to recognise everything. So I can now hear the carabiner clacking when the wind goes on the rail, and I'm like, oh, what's that?
Yeah. So we have the weather window that we've been after, and hopefully we're just going to get blown straight to Rhodes. We've got like a 29-hour estimated passage, probably more like 30, over 30. So we're going to sail through the night and yeah, hopefully actually get some wind to sail. It's really calm in here at the moment, but I think this is a really protected bay. We're meant to have proper wind out there, maybe a bit too much to start with, but then it's meant to die down, which is the right way around. I don't really want to be sailing in too much wind overnight. It would be nice to have a calm sail overnight and maybe just go a bit slower and get some speed today. So that's the plan. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to some night sailing. Jodie can't wait to be up all night. And just be really, really nice if the sea can just not be really, really, really bad.
Yeah, it's the sea state I'm worried about.
Yeah. So if we have calm seas, it'll be good. Everyone's topping up on their sun cream.
Back to 50, baby.
So it's bye-bye to this place. Still can't pronounce it. Skanusa. Really liked it here. It's been such a nice little stop off.
Sounds like a compliment that like a 1950s jazz musician would give. Hey, Skanusa.
You don't think it sounds like a pirate's bay?
Sounds like an illness, to be honest. Doctor, give it to me straight. I'm sorry, it's incurable, Skanusa. Anyone free?
Yeah.
Can you ease the furler to give us a little bit of slack to work with? No, sorry, belay that.
Disaster has now hit because obviously it's 2020. It's just a complete mess. We nearly sink the boat, we lose the dinghy, and now the engine is overheated after being really happy that it was running really nicely. After we tried to fix the leak in the saltwater cooler. There's a butterfly, that's a good sign. Yeah, it's overheated. So we are, obviously everything goes wrong at once. somehow the furler, we were sailing back to get back to the anchorage. We're just going to sail into the anchorage, which we know is a wide bay. We know don't land on the sea, butterfly. We could have got in there safely. Yeah, we could have got in there safely. We could have got the hook down really easily. But it's back upwind, so obviously, and this boat. Jodie, can you just hold the wheel like that? Do we need to do the furler? Yeah, can you do the furler?
We're all super busy and concentrating on stuff, but I'm also very
An update. So we tried to go upwind. It was literally right upwind to get to the bay that we'd just come from. That was just impossible. We weren't making any headway at all. So instead we had decided to do a sail downwind. There's an anchorage that looks like it would be a really good, safe anchorage, really wide and shelves off quite quickly, so hopefully we can put the motor on for a few minutes, literally, just to get the hook down, or even just anchor in if we have to, sail in if we have to, because it does look like it might be possible. I haven't eaten, so they're force feeding me. I'm stressed, and I don't eat when I'm stressed. But yeah, so we've sailed downwind. We had a bit of a rough patch where we completely lost the wind, and
Smiling.
she's not really smiling. And that was really horrible because we had big seas left over from the Maltemi that we've just had, and the boat's just being thrown around. We couldn't get any wind, and obviously we couldn't put the motor on, so that was horrible. But now the wind has picked up, and it means we can get to this, hopefully we can get to this beach, but we are yet to see if we can. So we will try that, sail in as far as we can, where we feel safe, dump the Jenny and just literally get the hook down. And yeah, sandy bottom, so hopefully with our new anchor and everything we'll just go, we'll just be in. But it's a bit scary.
Why does Emily keep talking about sandy bottom?
As we approached the anchorage, the wind fluked round and we had to sail the last bit into 30 knots of wind. It was tense, but we managed to get the hook down in a wide, shallow bay. So me and Jodie drew the long straw. We get to sit and drink mojitos while the boys try and troubleshoot the engine.
Oh no.
They might be a while. They've left their credit cards.
We told them to leave their credit card.
But yeah, seriously, they just wanted us out the way, I think. They're probably just playing with Tiny Cat and drinking beer. I don't think they're troubleshooting the engine. I have very, very low hopes that this engine is going to get fixed.
But we have mojitos.
But who cares, because we have mojitos and we're safe.
Bagheera.
And this really, really big black cat. A lot bigger than Tiny Cat. So yeah, we didn't record our anchoring antics because it was all a bit stressful, but we did manage to get anchored, and yeah, actually it was okay, wasn't it? We managed to sail most of the way into the anchorage, and then we just put the engine on really quickly at the end, and
We survived. We're alive.
a little bit stressful, but we are okay. This is what happens when you don't have any money and you decide you still want to do it anyway, and you buy a cheap sailboat. So maybe there is an argument when everyone says no, go now. Maybe there is an argument for not just going now.
Or racking up a huge debit bill.
Just take a massive loan out before you do it. The boys managed to fix the engine, but unfortunately we didn't have a great night's sleep, with our highest ever wind speeds topping 50 knots. The next morning we set off again for our passage to Rhodes.
I find that I'm always having to make amends for shortcomings, trying to make my way.
So we just did something we've never never done and just bailed out on our passage. Which, yeah, we just the forecast was saying 15 knots of wind, just like it was overnight, and when we got out there it was sustained 25, gusting over 30 with big seas, and we were heading dead into wind, well, nearly dead into wind, so we couldn't get any speed, and we were just rolling around with really confused seas, I guess left over from last night. And just because the forecast was so off last night, you know, 15 knots and 50 knots are very different things. So we just decided that actually no, which was a hard thing to do because we've got to get these guys back to Rhodes before their flights in a week's time. So if it can't happen, it can't happen, and that's just how it is. But we've changed. We're going to head out again. Well, we are heading out again, but we've got a route directly downwind, or almost directly downwind. This route has a lot more bailout options, and we can see we've got basically a 3-hour sail rather than a 20-30-hour sail. And yeah, we'll just see what the weather's doing and judge it from there. So we've got a lot more options to duck in places if we need to. You know, 3 hours of big seas is one thing, 30 hours is quite another. So feeling so much happier about our plan now, and yeah, we have to stop at Santorini. Oh, what a shame. So hopefully, I mean the forecast says by midday it will have calmed down, so just fingers crossed that it really has. At the moment we're just getting wind on the nose and we're making half of it, so this is much more like what the forecast suggested. We will see. We'll keep you updated.
So we just had a little unexpected stop in the most beautiful bay ever. Absolutely stunning. After losing our engine at sea and having to do some fairly quick thinking on the old sailing tactics, we managed to husband the boat down to this other island, Ios. Found a bay that we felt we could sail into and drop the hook safely. That all went really well. We just used the engine for the last kind of maybe 120 seconds just to set the hook and make sure we were in. And then we all went to shore for a little bit of R&R and just to calm down a little bit. So we sat and had a beer and had a chat about what we thought could have happened. And we kind of knew what we were going to find before we got there. There's a little shaft key that sits in the keyway and helps the impeller to turn. And the first time we tried to seat it, it fell out. The second time we tried to seat it, it seemed like it had worked, so we had quite a high level of confidence. The reason the boat was overheating is the shaft key had fallen out and was sat down the back of the impeller. So naturally the impeller wasn't spinning, no water was getting driven, and in no time the engine was overheating. So we cracked it open again, we opened up the lift pump, and lo and behold the shaft key was just sat behind the impeller, so we pulled the impeller. This time we used a tiny little dot of cyanoacrylate, of super glue basically, just to tack it in place so that we could be sure it would stay seated while we slid the impeller in. And cyanoacrylate is soluble in water over long term, so it'll just gradually dissolve away. We also tested that we could get the key out again, that we weren't just locking it in there forever. So that's cool. That all actually was surprisingly painless. Then we tested it, we just sat there and motored against the anchor at like kind of 1200 revs for about 15 minutes, and it went absolutely nowhere. We were checking with transits and the GPS. That actually turned out to be really nice because in the night 50 knots came through. I mean, it was some serious wind.
Completely unexpected.
Not on the forecast or anything. I don't know if it was catabatics or just out of the blue. But yeah, it was gusting 35 while we were testing the engine, and we thought, well, solid. If we drag the anchor, we drag the anchor. You know, we just need to know that the engine's working. So we were motoring astern at 1500 revs in 35 knots, and we went absolutely nowhere. So 1, big 10 out of 10 for the new anchor. 2, the engine's working great. 3, it was definitely set when we came to pick it up. We nearly craned the boat down into the water this morning, but we tried to pick up the anchor on the windlass. So yeah, so far, touch wood with every part of my body, It
Running
seems,
at under 60 now.
it seems to be going great, so we're going to try again on this passage, but it might actually have been a lucky accident, because if that 50 knots had actually happened out of sea, that would have been serious survival weather. We've never sailed anything like that. I think the most we've sailed in is kind of gusting into the mid to high 30s. I don't even know if we've seen high 30s, have we,
Yeah,
at
we
sea?
saw 40, didn't we?
At sea.
Not right out at sea, on the coast.
Okay, but it would have been a good 10 plus knots more than anything we'd ever sailed. And it would have come through at about 2 in the morning when everyone was fatigued. So that might have been a blessing in disguise. The other thing is, that place was amazing, really, really beautiful. When I dived in to check the anchor the first time, because we'd set it almost under sail, I was swimming along and I've never seen so many flatfish. You normally see 1 or 2 of them kind of fipping around, but there were shoals of flatfish, you know, 8, 9, 10 of them all together, playing around in the sand. Really cute, actually. So yeah, it was awesome. We went out for some really good food, we had a couple of beers on shore, we came back, sorted the boat out, had some short island iced tea, some I can't believe it's not iced tea. Yeah, and now we're on our way again, so we'll, this can go on the top 10 videos taken moments before disaster.
It has gone up a bit now,
It will go up, but it won't get to 120 degrees.
hopefully.
So yeah, take 2.
Gravel road, I've been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world out? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me, take my hand and lead even when I disagree.
Look at exactly how long, how many miles it was in total, because I think it was 155 or something. So when there's 55 left, we would have sailed 100 miles.
We're nearly at 100 to go.
101 miles to go. Enough Dalmatians.
Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me, take my hand and lead even when I disagree. Maybe then I can relax.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week in the middle of the sea for sunset and a lovely sail on to Rhodes. You know the drill, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and a big thanks to our patrons for your ongoing support. We love having you with us.